So welcome to Inner Strength Check, home of all things arts, music, hobbies, and mental health. My name is Brady. Now, people say that necromancy isn't possible, but that's just a trope amongst the common townsfolk because I have direct evidence of that right here with Jeff from Let Live. Jeff, thank you for joining us.
Awesome. Thanks for having me. It's a pleasure.
Awesome. So, big news. Back together. How does it feel about having an upcoming tour in Australia and just in general?
I don't know how many times I've said this word today, but it's all surreal. It's all so surreal. I was on the phone yesterday with John, the guitarist, for 2.5 hours or such, and just reflecting and talking about what the days are like right now in preparation
Wow.
for everything coming up, and just how like each of us are individually like managing our everyday, the
Yeah.
cycle and these two. And it's a lot, but all positive and super energized. We're so happy and excited, and it's crazy. It's crazy. Uh,
I think everyone's feeling exactly the same, but it must be you guys more than anything. So, how does it feel, I guess, after having a hiatus and now coming back? You mentioned it being surreal, and now you're sitting here doing, say, like the journalist circuit, and you're looking at tours and all that sort of thing. Has that, since you guys have sort of made the announcement, made the decision? Has that just hit you guys like a ton of bricks in terms of tour offers and promotion, that sort of thing, or has it been more of a slow build?
yeah, it was fairly relentless. I can say that in the least. It just we made that post, and I honestly don't think my phone stopped buzzing for 3 or 4 days easily.
Wow.
Just
Yeah.
with everyone under the sun. I mean, just fans, friends, family, promoters, agents, labels, other bands. I mean, everybody. It's just the whole reconnection, the whole resurgence of all of this. It was a lot, but also very wonderful. I mean, it was really great to kind of sit back, and I know that after things kind of ended fairly abruptly, you kind of went on to find other journeys and explore other avenues in your individual life. And I think sometimes for us, so I can speak for myself, I suppose, but you kind of lose sight of, you kind of get in the pocket of your own world, and
Mm.
maybe, and you kind of lose sight of how fast time moves, and you really don't. That all of this has been really great for me to kind of sit back and reflect on the impact that Let Live has had in, you know, the communities of music as a whole, and how much work was put into that, and how much of our lives was solely based around exclusively, to that
Mm. Mm.
style. You kind of lose that a little bit, because in sense of like work and surviving and bills
Yeah.
and real life, like real life outside of that life is sometimes I
Mm.
but it was a lot, and I'm super thankful, and I'm so excited, and very grateful to be able to have the opportunity to do this again at least one more time, and get to say goodbye. And we never
Mm.
really, but just the impact, and the beauty behind everything that Let Live was really great. And it really hit us, and it was like, wow, like we really did make a dent in music. And you
Mm.
get stuff when you're in it,
Mm.
whenever it's in motion. So it was really beautiful to kind of sit back here with my brothers and kind of be like, wow, like look what we did. You lose touch of that. I mean, of course we have memories and the stories, and we never stop telling stories.
Mm. Mm.
Have that become a reality in your world again, and to sit back and watch how all of this unfolded naturally, and as fast and impactful as it did, is fucking cool. Like it's
Yeah.
all. I guess it's just the dichotomy of like telling stories at work and such, to like actually, like, I'm back in this right now. Like this is
Yeah.
really happening. It's a reality. And this
Right.
is the life that personally, like, I've rebuilt and put together for myself outside of music, and to be able to jump back into that is
Mm.
crazy. It's crazy, but I'm so
Mm.
it's It's the most excited I think I've felt in a very long time, and I can honestly say that. I
Wow. Yeah.
definitely it was definitely needed. So
Yeah. So
yeah,
how did the decision come about? I mean, it must have been something that you guys had been, was it something you guys had sort of been mentioning now again, and one of you just went, why don't we just do it? Or did you all kind of, in some kind of alchemy, come together, three people and go, dude, we've got it. Yeah, I'm interested to hear how the actual decision was made.
yeah. Do you know what's funny is I don't really think there was a quote unquote decision. I think
Mm,
all of this has been so organic. There's been
mm,
no push at any angle whatsoever. All of this is, it started out with a simple, you know what? Now that I'm thinking about it, I had, this is funny. I had an issue reinstating my login information on my damn Instagram account, actually, because I had been so disconnected for a long time. I
yeah,
personally needed that for a
yeah.
minute. And I had recently started another project called Erase Theory, which is my first
Mm,
reintroduction back into music. And so I'm trying to like log into my damn Instagram, and I can't do that because my password and my email, the account was linked to an old email address that I had, and I'm
mm,
trying to like get. I needed access to that, but my Jeff at my old Let Live email was the one linked to that account, and that website was not up anymore. And
mm,
the part about this is that I was sitting on the phone with their customer service trying to be like, give me access to that domain just for a second because we had lost access to that. And I looked down
mm.
and I saw Jason calling my cell phone, like his face was on my phone. And that was the first time in probably 7 years or something since I had last spoken to him.
Wow.
And
Yeah.
I obviously hung up the phone and answered it. And I was like, what's up, dude? And I said, oh my God, like what the? So that's how that started. That quickly sort of just led to, the Black is Beautiful was hitting the I think it, forgive me if I'm wrong, I think it was the 11-year anniversary of that album.
Mm,
He was like, I had this idea, we should probably like get a remix or something, put the record out. And everything started as simple as that. I think like maybe 2 months, we obviously kept in touch. We're just talking.
yeah.
And um we ended up meeting up for dinner, maybe lasted about an hour or so, and just kind of caught up on just life. And it felt
Mm,
good in the room. We all grew up together. We've known each other since we were teenagers.
yeah.
And it started from that, man. We just started hanging out and spending time together, just slowly working on just the remaster of The Black's Beautiful that we wanted to release. And then that turned into, reflecting on old stories and
Mm,
just the normal
yeah.
brotherly.
Yeah. So it kind of started with a practical decision, but obviously, having the history that you guys did, it was just going to lead naturally into those sorts of, yeah.
Me and Jason would go in and help other artists in the studio. It led to that, some session gigs. And then that was like, why don't we just like play a show? That'd probably feel really awesome. But why would we not just fuck it? Let's just play a show.
Yeah.
And then that led to, oh my God. And then we got the record done and everything was going so smooth and we ware just having so much fun. We're like, dude, why don't we never got to do like a farewell tour for anybody. We never got to do that for everyone. And like
Mm,
right now. And then I think,
mm,
the time management and just the appreciation of being able to wake up every morning, is such a blessing in general. And I think
mm.
it's so short, time is just moving so fast. So why not enjoy yourself and give back?
Yeah.
And that's how that happened. It was just the easiest, non-planned, not non-surgical sort of way of restating all of it. And um, that's it. I wish I had something more exciting to tell you,
No.
but it was just
I
so.
think I feel like my shitty necromancy metaphor is actually you know what I mean? It just feels like it's almost like from what you're saying, it just sounds like it's just so natural. It's like it really doesn't even sound like anything remotely calculated, just a vibe, really. The vibe was right and it
Yeah,
happened.
and I've learned in these later years of my life that sometimes all things that are meant to happen, in every individual's life or their journey, happens naturally. I feel like I'm very
Mm,
guilty when I was young, pressing and pushing and forcing and not
mm,
always going against the current, always trying to push here and put, and shit just doesn't work sometimes. And I think, you kind of got
Mm,
and allow
mm.
the universe or whatever it is that just let it unfold naturally. And I think that's exactly what happened here. We were just hanging out. We're like, fuck it, let's just quit all of our jobs and do all this, pack up our shit and bounce and do it. And
So
everything
good.
happened, man. That was
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
And so, having seen you guys live before, and one of the things you guys are famed for is your live intensity. It's sounding like that, a lot of people have said, oh, there's so many, it's the 20th anniversary of X tour, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, well, we'll see. But I don't think there's any doubt with you guys that you're going to bring like a furious energy to your shows. And coming to Australia, though, on the back of, I mean, it's a big decision to do it to Australia. So I'm just curious to hear what got you guys curious to come back here again. Because on the one hand, yeah, it's an Australian tour. We want you here. We need you here, basically. But it's still a big, especially, I guess, in the time between splitting up and now reforming financially and, logistically, it's a lot more difficult to get to Australia than it has been. What are the sort of the main reasons you guys are looking forward to coming back?
I think I think the travels to Australia is definitely needed. Not only is, you know, where you guys reside one of the most beautiful places on this planet, in my opinion. I think it's just the amount of love and support that we've had from that region is just incredible. And I think it was needed to show love back.
Mm,
And of the greatest experiences and even tours. I think our first tour we ever did in Australia was Soundwave, which was so surreal to be able to
yeah.
share all of that with some of your favorite artists and bands, and we were so young and thrashy, and
Yeah.
um, some of the best times I think we ever had was in Australia, and I think
Wow.
it was very necessary for us to go back. And I don't really think that the financial aspects were the determining factor in it. I think it was
Mm,
just needed. It was a place on this earth that we couldn't ignore or not show love back to, because you guys have
mm.
had undeniable amounts of support towards us and our band and what we've created since we were so young. So how could you go? How could you do all these hit all these spots all over the globe and skip the greatest place that showed us the most amount of love? And I mean,
Oh,
that's getting out of an airplane and walking down your terminal, and there are people there welcoming us into your communities. And I think that that's definitely should be recognized and appreciated. And so
mm.
our way to give back in any way possible that we can, even if we showed up and 5 or 10 people were there, at least we did it on your land. And I think that was
No.
very important to us to show love to people.
Well, I think the gratitude is very, very mutual on our end too. And you guys, we'll definitely be showing you the love on the tour. It's going to be very mutual. And you're bringing Sage from Point North and Skylar from Issues with you. Um, they
Yeah,
must be excited about this.
so
Like,
excited. Yeah.
yeah.
And they're just wonderful beings, just as human,
Mm,
sweetest guys. And I think for us, even in this era of our lives, it's just about having a good time, and enjoying, your minutes in to any capacity that may be, and having individual to be able to share a stage with individuals like that is we're so lucky. Like we were
mm,
to remain connected with great friends like that. They're just great people. They're just the best dudes. Not to mention they're rock solid players, some of the best in the game. So
mm.
this is gonna be fucked up. This is so horrible. If I told you the amount of times that I've hit the gym this week just alone, just to try to get my
Hell yeah.
body back into doing
Yep.
don't get me
Yep.
wrong, I'm in shape, but I think a level of intensity as Let Live delivers. I think this is going to be twice as exciting as I think it ever was, because this is us again, pre fake history days. This is
Yeah.
excitement towards music, and just being in a room together and sitting here, like I have chills just even talking about it.
I've got my own here too. It's just my webcam. I look
Yeah,
like a ghost.
it's fucking
So
cool.
yeah. Wow. So you've also got you're not doing by halves either, too. And I
Well,
think you guys aren't doing this by halves either. I mean, you've got Vans, you've got a whole number of festivals coming up, so it's very clear the Stoke's back and the energy just I can feel the energy just coming through from the other side of the world. It's radiant. Um,
yeah,
so
I
you've
was
got some festivals lined up. You've got an Australian tour, going international, like you're doing the European tour, just going basically everywhere. Yeah.
everywhere we can. Europe, UK, US, Australia. Um, yeah, it's I mean typical let live fashion. Why don't we just burn camels at both ends and fucking go 0 to 100 in a minute with zero recognition of any sort of gray area? Like if we're gonna do it, we're gonna do it. And um, something we always talk about is like the last day on stage when we walk away from all of it. It should be a very we should be able to close a lot of doors and fill a lot of voids. I think in our personal lives that maybe we didn't
Mm,
do back in the day. Um,
right. Mm,
so important and be able to come back to this life again and just actually be like, we did it. There's no regrets. We hit every territory we wanted to, or as
mm,
feasible right now anyway. Um,
mm.
just to come home and have something to write about, and just enjoy your life. And I don't think we wouldn't be able to fall asleep if we half-assed anything. So all this stuff started just dumping right in front of us, and we took it all. We're like, yeah, let's go, let's do it, let's do this, let's do that. And this was supposed to be just maybe a very short run, hitting like all the major cities across the U.S. market, and just
Mm.
thank you very much, and then it just got too excitable to ignore, and that was that. So here I am, leaving my job and leaving my home and doing all this just to have half a year full of love and excitement and support and just to live it. Whatever the hell happens is going to happen. And I think the nervous aspects of all that is really exciting at the same time.
It's
So
almost like you guys are, I mean, you're not just not going out with a whimper but a bang. You're basically jetting off into the stars, into the unknown by the sounds of it. I mean, you've said you've got to leave your job, obviously, because you're going to be. Is it the similar decision for the other guys? They're just like burn the boats. I don't care what needs to happen.
yeah,
Let's just go. Yeah. Mm,
I, the way we've always viewed Let Live is just Let Live is bigger than us. And I think it's not about us individually as people. I think it's just serving to that middle ground, that relationship that we identify as Let Live. And it's giving to that. And I think it's very important to us to be able to do that. And jobs and all this stuff will always be here. You'll always be able,
mm,
but I think moments like this in your life, you'll never really get the opportunity to ever live this again. Like we'll never be able to take 7, 8 years off, hypothetically speaking, and then come back and try to hit this as hard as we are when we're like 50 something years old. I think it's
mm.
a little more than so rather cause some damage now, I guess, in a beautiful way, of course. It's nothing negative whatsoever, but fuck it. I mean,
Yeah.
what's so short as the older we get, I mean, people, you know, you're lucky to be alive sometimes, like
Mm,
the older you get, whether that's diseases or just age or people, you're losing friends and I mean, we're entering those stages in our lives where things should not be taken so, for granted as they were
mm,
20s where yeah, this
mm.
unexpiring timeline here on Earth because you never saw an end game to any of it, end point rather. But I think getting to rediscover yourself in this era of your life and you really start to appreciate the minutes and where you spend them on this earth while you're here. I think you're really lucky we're so lucky to be able to be doing this again. So fuck yeah, we're going to hit it as hard as we possibly can. And I think it's going to probably want to be one of the most energized, most powerful sets of our entire careers because I think we need it. We fucking need it so bad. And just to release is going to feel so good.
Oh, I think the feeling is mutual, Jeff, and I think that like the dual kinetic energy. I think everyone especially the Australian shows, sorry, rest of the world, but at the Australian shows, I think we're going to be meeting. We have to make sure we don't create any black holes with all this like kinetic energy that's about to go off when you guys tour in September, and I'm going to be very excited to see you guys. So thanks again for doing this too, by the way. I think that on behalf of like the punk community, the alternative music community here in Australia, I just want to say thanks because it's something of a blessing to be able to experience this again. So I think
No,
sincerely, Australia, we feel grateful. And when we get opportunities like this, we're going to go off just as much of a powder keg as you guys.
we know that. I think what's most important is thank you, thank you guys and all of our friends, like all of our friends and fans that support all this. Like the thanks is for you guys. We're just serving a purpose and giving, just doing what we do to serve to you. Without all you guys, this would not exist at all. We could have just been a band who played 1,000 shows, but without the love and support, there's no way this would exist. No way in hell.
Mm,
So I think it's for all of us to share. I don't really think there should never be no dichotomy between like the band and the fans or the friends. I think it's all one unit, like one community, one love, one passion, and be able to sit in a room and share it all together because we are the band. Everybody in there is
mm.
that. There's no separation. Like you guys are the show too. I mean, you can easily sit your asses down on the floor and not fucking move.
That's not happening.
And then get on stage but I think it's the whole it's a compiled effort. I think from both ends
Mm.
makes all this so magical. So it's crazy. Like this is crazy. We're so excited. We can't wait to see you. Like I can't stress that enough.
Thank you so much, Jeff. And the crazy is going to be mutual. I'm looking forward to see how much it goes off. So, you've got plenty of other folks to poke and prod with questions today, but judging by how you're presenting and how you're feeling, man, I don't think you mind one bit by the sounds of it.
Reconnect, and it really does. We're so lucky. So very thankful always.
All right. Thanks so much for your time, Jeff. I really appreciate it. You take care, okay? And we'll see you soon.
Can't wait, dude. Talk later.
All right. Thanks, Jeff. Ta,
Bye.
bye.